You are Locked On Trojans Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, that will just about do it. Hello and welcome to the Locked On USC Trojans Postcast on the Locked On USC YouTube channel. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA, dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Something very interesting has happened thus far on the program. Even before we started tonight, got a whole mess of comments from a variety of people, and I agree with every single one of these comments. That is rare. Usually comments, I'm like, and I'm just going to kind of run through them because they are all so on point and are stealing the thoughts right out of my head. Heck Views starts with, well, we're not who we thought we were. Pretty effing embarrassing, he says. Fred the Veteran then adds, we have the dumbest play caller on the planet. I mean, look, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I will say this, Fred, the play calls today were utterly idiotic, and we'll get to that. Dan Berman says, look forward to the review of a typical USC loss against Notre Dame. It is really getting old. Fred goes on to say, this is the last time we played them. I can pretty much guarantee if it's not a rivalry anymore. They kick our ass every year. Lincoln Riley will not want to play them anymore. You could be dead on there. You could be 100% right that Lincoln Riley is like, I'm done with this, because they're struggling to figure out the scheduling to keep this rivalry, which is 95 years old or 97 years old. They've played 95 times. They didn't play in World War II and they didn't play during COVID. But they have no schedule. They have no matchups on the calendar moving forward. So, Lincoln Riley, fair point, may be making that difficult moving forward because they just don't know how to deal with Notre Dame. And the ugly part about this game is, as I think Trey says it down here at the bottom, trash ass defense aside, we could have won this game. Trey, you're 100% right. With Jeremiah Love running the ball down their effing throat, they still were in this game until Lincoln Riley started making stupid play calls. Trey says, worst effing play calling I've seen in years. Like, seriously, WTF. I wrote the exact same thing down, Trey. What the F was that? That Lemon reverse was absolutely brutal. And that was a backbreaker for this team.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The Trojans, okay, so to back up a few plays in a series before, Mayava throws an interception and on a dumb play, and then Notre Dame marches down and misses a field goal. So the Trojans are still down 3. They get the ball back. They're moving the ball. They're into Notre Dame territory, and they run a ridiculous, stupid reverse with Makai Lemon optioning to throw the ball, and he can't get it out of his pocket and fumbles it away back to Notre Dame. I mean, that was just foolish from a whole variety of viewpoints. I mean, get the first down, okay? And then shortly thereafter, which what Trey is talking about, 4th down and inches, you roll out trying to catch them sleeping? No, that's not going to work. And then you didn't even stretch the field. You tried to throw an 8-yard pass to Lake McCree. What the hell was that? If you're going to do that, then stretch the field. Send somebody in a go route. No, they just try to throw into triple coverage where Lake McCree was just blanketed. Bang out a hard half a yard. Get a first down. Keep things moving down the field. I mean, at certain points of a game, you got to take what is dealt to you. You got to play what is in front of you. And they just clearly didn't do that. I mean, it was just so ridiculous. The play calling was what did them in on this game. Ivan says, the narrative of SC being soft used to get me mad, but I honestly understand it now. SC is soft. Yeah, compared to what we saw today from Notre Dame in their running game, look, SC is less soft than they have been. You have to give them credit for that. They have taken a step up, but really what cost them this game was just foolish, stupid plays and turnovers, right? You can't turn the ball over that much. Still about is that right? A minute 22. What the hell happened? They threw an interception and got the ball right back. How'd they get the ball right back? So the game's not over yet, but it's over. Jeremiah Love, 228 yards. How many do you have in the first half? 182. I mean, come on. And then you got to give some credit to Notre Dame's defense. Christian Gray was fantastic. 2 interceptions today, and they just really limited Makai Lemon. They knew that Makai Lemon will kill you, and they didn't let him kill them. So give some credit to the game plan that Notre Dame brought into this one. Makai Lemon's first catch was late in the second. It was for a yard or two, and then he had another rip for 27, and then they didn't throw him the ball again until the third quarter. And they couldn't find Makai Lemon. They tried, or then they tried to get him to throw the ball. I mean, just brutal. Yeah. In the fourth quarter, 3rd and 9, great protection, got Makai Lemon open. So they were starting to find Makai Lemon, and it felt like they had momentum. It really did. After Notre Dame missed that field goal coming off the turnover into the fourth quarter, it felt like this game is USC's to lose. And then let's run a reverse in the rain to Makai Lemon. That was an absolute backbreaker because Notre Dame took the ball down and scored a touchdown. Self-inflicted wounds. 2 dumb plays on 3rd and 4th down. Got to get to the sticks. It happened that was in the second quarter. Got to get to the sticks. They just kept doing it on 3rd and 4th down, doing stupid things, not getting to the sticks in a big 4th down or a big 3rd down. I mean, it was like, I don't know if it was, I can't figure out what happened there, because Lincoln Riley called a great game last week, and Lincoln Riley has been much better calling these games of late. I don't know if he was just trying to outthink them or outsmart them, but it just seemed like he shot himself in the foot and therefore shot the Trojans in the foot time and time again. When I saw that spread at 10.5, which, by the way, if you took USC plus 10.5, you won with the hook. That's crazy. But when I saw that, I was like, that's a big number. Trojans can win this game. They're not going to get smoked, but it kind of felt like they did get smoked, but on their own accord. Like they did it to themselves. And that's what's so crazy and frustrating about this game, right? Is that running game from Jeremiah Love and is it Jadarian? Is that the other guy? Yeah, Jadarian Price. He ran for 87 and he had a 100-yard kick return. So 187 from Jadarian Price and 228 from Jeremiah Love. And the Trojans were in this game until they started doing stupid things. I just, and they didn't even really run the ball that well because Notre Dame just bottled it up from the get-go. They couldn't run the ball. They tried a lot. 18 carries for King Miller, 29 carries on the day, more than the receiving receptions, 22 receptions versus 29 runs. They kept trying. They couldn't get anything going there. You got to give them credit for being diligent about it. But Notre Dame did a fantastic job against the run. And the Trojans tried to throw the ball. They did a very good job of it. But at times, it just was stupidity that got in their way. And look, you grab the lead and then you turn it right around and give up a 100-yard kick return. It's just so frustrating. I mean, Jacoby Lane had a fantastic game. 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Makai Lemon, 4 for 76. But that, give a lot of credit to Notre Dame there for bottling him up. And Tanook Hines had a fantastic game. But they just tried too many times on 3rd and short and 4th and short to run big plays, and it didn't work. I appreciate you trying it once or twice, but you can't keep trying it because it wasn't working. That's what's so frustrating. It's like beating your head against the wall. This kind of hurts. Maybe I should stop. Tuba Sun God says, I'm pissed, but I don't want to see this rivalry end. And I agree with that. I mean, I love these rivalries, and the fact that they're going by the wayside because of all this realignment is really kind of sad and unfortunate. So I hope they keep it going. I don't care if USC is getting their face kicked in year after year. What is it? 6 of the last 7. They won in Lincoln Riley's first year. So that's the last time USC beat the Fighting Irish. It's the Locked On USC Trojans Postcast on the Locked On USC YouTube channel, where you can find Mark Culkin Monday through Friday with the Locked On Trojans, the USC Trojans podcast Monday through Friday. It's the daily in-depth look as to what is going on in the Trojan universe. We break it down here right after the game and give you instant emotional reaction. And believe me, we are all emotional tonight. We'll take a break and come back. Tonight's Locked On USC Trojans Postcast is brought to you by Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep as early as tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from putting projects on hold, while the industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. If you need parts fast for a project, Supply House has next day delivery. That is an absolute game changer, because a lot of times, if you're trying to get a job done and someone's asking you what the timeline is and your answer is, well, I don't know, they might go somewhere else. But with Supply House, you don't have to worry about that. They give you an honest appraisal as to when you're going to get that part, so you can tell the customer when you're going to get the job done. Join the free Trade Masters program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com. Sign up for free and use the promo code SHCollege5 and you'll get 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real services. Tonight's episode of the Locked On USC Trojans Postcast also brought to you by Rougiette. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiette Go Long. That's exactly where Rougiette Go Long comes in. It isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for your confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. Make sure your partner is ready for that. The confidence will take you through one day and into the next day. 36 hours. Get ready. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to Rougiette.com, RUGIET, and use the code LOCKEDONCollege. You'll get 15% off your first order at RUGIET.com. Rougiette.com, and the promo code again, LOCKEDONCollege. Make sure to use our code so they know that we sent you. Trojans stepping it. One play after another in the second half. It's a 1-point game at the break. 34-24. The Fighting Irish ran the crap out of the ball, and yet and still, the Trojans had a chance, many chances to win this game. 306 yards rushing. Actually, 300 and at 7 to 6, that's 13. 313 because Carr had -7. So 228 on a touchdown for Jeremiah Love. That came on the first drive of the game. And then Jadarian Price, 13 carries, 87 yards. He had a touchdown on the ground, and then he had one on a kick return, which was good for 100 yards. But when it was all said and done, Jaden Mayava threw 2 interceptions, and the Trojans turned the ball over, was it 3 times or 4? It felt like 24, But the fact is that it was just 3. Notre Dame had 1 turnover. First downs, 23 apiece. Penalties. This is freaking phenomenal and fantastic and practically unbelievable. The Trojans had 1 penalty for 5 yards. The Irish had 8 for 96. They kept giving the Trojans chances. Third down. The Irish were worse than the Trojans, if you want to believe that. 3 of 11. So give that defense that a lot of you are calling a trash defense, give them a lot of credit. The Trojans on a third down, 6 of 14. Also not good, but better than 3 of 11. Fourth down, 0 for 2. That was because of dumb play calling. Notre Dame 1 of 2, time of possession, 32 for the Irish, 27 for the Trojans. Really, yeah, just frustrating. There were some fantastic plays third quarter. That timing pattern to Chinook Hines in the corner of the end zone. Oh, that was the bad one, right? Sorry, I was thinking of the touchdown to who was that touchdown to? I think it was Jacoby Lane. He ran a post corner route for 66 yards. That was just a fantastic play. And Mayaba absolutely threw it on point, dropped it right in the bucket. And that's what he's capable of. That's what he's been doing. But they made these dumb plays like that one in 3rd and 3, a timing pattern to Chinook Hines in the corner. It's just a low percentage, foolish play call. They did convert the field goal, but they didn't need field goals at that point. You got to get touchdowns. So yeah, all in all, frustrating. The first touchdown to Lake McCree was another fantastic pass and a fantastic catch. So, and again, there was a lot of good stuff going on in this game. I think we're frustrated because of the recency bias of what happened late in the game. Early on, crazy scramble from Mayava, and it could have been, it was at the 9-minute mark of the first quarter. I mean, it was like, what was that? He was scrambling around and just chucked it up and found Chinook Hines for a first down. I was like, yeah. Was that luck? Was he trying to throw that out of bounds and just got the receiver? I don't know. They did a much better job against the run on the second drive. It was hard to be worse than the first drive when two touches and Love was in the end zone. So, this I think this could have been so much worse. Notre Dame did a lot to keep the Trojans in this game, and these are the type of games that you can't afford to lose when the other team is doing everything in their power to hand it over to you. And when you look at those numbers on the ground from Love and Jadarian, you're like, they should have won this game. They did win it by 10. They should have won it by 20, right? Because they couldn't stop the running game at all. Price and Love were on fire. As far as the receiving, they didn't have a whole lot going on there. And give some credit to the Trojan defense for that. But CJ Carr did not have a great game. 16 of 26 for 136 yards and an interception, 1 touchdown, but only 136 yards in the air. Of course, when you've got 2 guys doing what Love and Price did on the ground, you don't need to throw the ball that much. And Aiden Schuler had a fantastic game for them. So did Christian Gray. Aiden Schuler, which sounds like, when they say it fast, it sounds like Don Shula. It was driving me crazy. I'm like, somebody named Don Shula on this team? Adon Schuler. 10 tackles, 4 solo, 1 TFL, 1 pass defended. But yeah, as far as the Trojan defense, Kamari Ramsey played a big part of this game, as he always does. Bishop Fitzgerald, 10 tackles, 4 solo. Gentry also. Those 3 guys are all over the field. Fitzgerald, Gentry, and Ramsey. Where would this team be without them? Nicholson, also a good game. Desmond Stevens, 10 tackles, 6 solo. So let's not be too hard on this defense. Those 2 running backs are the real deal, and I would expect to see them playing on Sunday next year. At least Love. Maybe Jadarian Price stays around. but he's a junior too. They're both juniors. So I wouldn't at all be surprised if those guys end up in the league next year because they are men. And they play this game like a kid's game. They just ran it down our throat. And that is that's unfortunate, but that's what happened. Travis Griffith says Lincoln needs to just be the head coach and give up OC responsibility. He really needs to focus. That's a fair point. We all had heard for a long time the mantra about Lincoln Riley was that he was an offensive genius. And I haven't seen genius level decision making. I've seen some good stuff at times, effective, but this whole genius thing, I don't know about all that. Brian says SC wins if they played at home or on a neutral field. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, that's a tough one. They're now 5-2 as Notre Dame improves to 5-2 as well. 34-24, the final. As the Trojans drop this one, they are back to work again next week against Nebraska. That one is in Lincoln, and the time is TBD. Of course, we'll be here to break it down when it is over. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm Pete Fox. It is the Locked On USC Trojans postcast on the Locked On USC YouTube channel. We come on right after the game and break it down. Appreciate you guys watching and listening and appreciate the comments. And as always, let's hope the Trojans will fight on a little better next week. Take care. Have a good night.